in the house. Let's go! Step inside the ring where the legends were made. Independent warriors never looking for fame. Rude boy swinging, Huck calling the shots. Two lifers of the business with the stories that rock. From the sheet breaking heat in the Motor City. Bobo Brazil dropped the hammer, never pretty. Jerry Lawler on the mic, Dusty Rhodes with the soul. Gino Hernandez with that shine and that gold. This is wrestling real talk, no gimmicks, no lies. Real stories from real champions through real lives. Old school, new school, every lane, every block. Detroit wrestling forever, wrestling real talk. From the territories down to today's indie scene. Blood, sweat stories, the things fans never see. Icons, outlaws, legends who never quit. If you lived it or you loved it, this song is for it. Rude boy, A.T. Huck, independent legends, y'all already know. Wrestling real talk, where the truth hits hard. Let's go!
The legends were real. The stories were wilder. And now it's time to talk about it. This is Wrestling Real Talk. And now your hosts, A.T. Huck and Rude Boy.
Wrestling Real Talk. What's up, everybody out there in the Real Talk land of wrestling? That's right. I am your host, the one and only Rudy Hill, also known as Rude Boy. And of course, I'm being joined by my partner in crime, the very, 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 oh so cool homie of mine and yours, the legend himself, A.T. Huck in the building. A.T. Huck, how are you today?
What's up, Rude Boy? Always a great introduction. You make me feel so good.
That's the way we got to do it.
But I feel good about being here tonight, man. We got a lot to talk about. Got a lot coming up. A whole lot coming up.
We do indeed have a lot coming up. And tonight, today, for the very first time, we are going to have a very special guest right here on the podcast. She will be joining us from Cincinnati, Ohio. Of course, she is the International Big Time Wrestling Women's Champion. She will be defending that championship against AEW superstar Nyla Rose. Of course, I'm talking about Big Mama. She will be joining us momentarily. And I got to tell you, Huck, you signed one of the biggest matches in the history of the independents in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
When we talked about it, and I looked at it on paper, and I was like, damn, and I really thought, I was like, man, and I lined it up against other shows and their main events, and not saying they don't have some very talented wrestlers, but as far as a national appeal, this match between Nyla Rose and Big Mama should get attention everywhere. Not just here in Michigan.
Most definitely. And I noticed on the, there's actually a group of wrestling fans coming from the Cincinnati area to see this match between Big Mama and Nyla Rose. It's that big of a deal.
Yes, it is.
We're excited to tell you that next week, tickets will be on sale at Taqueria El Rey, right there in Detroit, Southwest Detroit on Bagley. We will give you all the information, but I got to tell you, there's going to be a very special VIP seat that you want to get your hands on. I'm going to tell you more about it a little later on in the show, but right now, A.T. Huck, again, we announced that the threat will be taking the legendary threat, by the way.
Let me get this in real quick. Main event.
Yes, sir.
Nyla Rose will be in town, and she will also have a seminar. This is for trained wrestlers that are training, or people already in the business. It's not open to the public, but I wanted to get that out there, just so people can think ahead of time that that's going to happen the day of the show.
That is going to happen. That's going to happen on Saturday, January 17th in the afternoon, and you'll be spending a couple hours with someone who has made it to an AEW, an original,
Yes, former champion, former women's champion.
Has
And always still in contention. She's never out of the picture.
Of course not. Of course not. And she is going to give you a seminar. She's going to give you some tips on where you can go in the business. And again, if you really take your craft serious, then invest in yourself and be a part of this, which, by the way, Huck, and you know this as well as I do, this is very limited.
Very limited seating.
Right.
Or attendance. I'll say attendance.
Attendance, yes. Only literally a handful are going to be available to be a part of this. And we're excited that we'll have all the information. It will be through PayPal only. And again, like you said, either trainers
as well.
Yes.
Anybody
Trainees,
in the business or trying to be in the business.
In the business and taking the business serious. Even if you've been in the business and you think you can get a tip or two, come on through.
Exactly.
We'd love to have you. It's going to be going down once again Saturday, January 17th at 12 noon. And we'll have more information right here on Wrestling Real Talk and all across the globe. But I got to tell you, we are just moments away from, of course, our champion. But before we get into that, I would like to shout out Lunacy. Man, JCW Lunacy has been wild. It's been wild. And I know that we already talked about your visit that you had with them. But I got to tell you, man, Big Vito being the boss on the episodes are wild. Now, that's crazy.
Man, some of it, I'm like, man, he's all up in Joe's face.
Right.
You know, kind of punking him out. I'm going to have to say it. You know, he kind of punked him out a few times, you know.
A few times already, you know. So it's been real interesting to watch. And once again, Wrestling Real Talk fans, we invite you to check out JCW Lunacy each and every Thursday on YouTube TV. And, man, they've got a lot going on over there. Come on. They got the hottest indie star in the world as their world's champion.
Yes, they do.
Matt Cardona. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that.
Right. And they're shaking some things up with Vince Russo being there now.
Yes,
you know, that
true.
was just recently announced.
Yes.
Or actually shown.
Shown, yes.
You know, first time on Lunacy. And I met him and first time impression for me, but he was a cool dude.
Yeah.
You know, I was expecting something totally different, but he was open and talkative, you know, and listening to, finding out who I was.
That's super cool.
So it was really cool, man. And I see Joe has a lot of faith, in Russo right now. And he's a very creative guy, but also best friends with Big Vito. So Big Vito is watching his back. That's what they come across, not only at Lunacy, but outside of Lunacy. He was like, hey, I got his back. That's why I'm here.
Right.
So,
I think that's pretty cool. I think I don't know how it's going to work. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to work.
As long as they don't clash, because Joe is so creative himself, and that's what Vince Russo said on his podcast. I was like, wow. He said that Joe is the closest thing to Vince McMahon that he's worked with. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Those
Yes.
are high praises.
Yeah, it
Those
was.
are
I was
most
like, well,
definitely
I'm
high
surprised
praises.
you didn't see that.
No, I didn't see that. But then again, I don't really care for Vince Russo's podcast. It's just not for me. I've never been a fan of Vince Russo's.
Yeah.
And
I've never watched it. This is the first time I ever watched it.
Well,
I guess after meeting him and sparked my
exactly,
curiosity.
because I got to tell you
Exactly.
something. I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah.
I really can't.
I think you like him from what I saw.
You know that.
I'm a pretty good judge. At least I try to be.
And I only judge what I hear and stuff like that.
Huck's full of shit.
No, I don't know.
I'm just joking.
And your word means a lot to me.
Yes, I do.
But you know what? Before we go any further, Huck, man, and we get into, I really wanted to do this at the beginning of the show, man. I wanted to send a very special shout out to all of the fans of the time who lost Jelly Bean Johnson last week.
Oh my
man.
goodness, what a loss!
And we were just talking about.
At the gathering.
You introducing them, me introducing them.
Right. That's a crazy story. I was in the car, knocked out.
Yes,
I'm at the gathering. So,
Gathering of the Juggalos,
I've been
folks.
indulging a little bit.
Well, let me say this: Gathering of the Juggalos is a music festival, and for those of you who don't know about it, you should know about it. And every year they always bring some cool ass entertainers. And this particular year they brought arguably A.T. Huck's favorite funk band of all time.
Yes.
Morris Day and The Time, the original Time. And they told us, they told me, Rudy, you're going to introduce them. And I said, oh, my God, man. So I hit up my boys, of course, Cruising the Barrio, man, A.T. Huck and Carlito. And I said, man, we are
going to introduce
them.
Morris Day and The Time.
We are.
Exactly.
No one gave me permission or nothing because I didn't ask for fucking permission.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, so I'm looking for you guys. And they're like, man, he's going to go on in 5 minutes. You got to get up there. I was like, oh, fuck, let me go up there. So I introduced Morris Day and The Time.
Right.
So then you guys
But what happened, the reason I wasn't there, I was in the car knocked out. I had a few magic sticks, and quite a few leading up to that. So I was in the car knocked out, and Carlito, I guess she knocked on the window or you honked. So I'm trying to get dressed because I had my suit. I had my Morris Day jacket I needed to put on. And I could tell Carlito was fuming. He was mad because I was so late. And by the time we got there, you already made the introductions.
Right.
But what subsequently happened, they didn't go on stage for at least another 10, 20 minutes.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
So me and Carlito, we walked up on stage and reintroduced them.
Uh-huh.
So that was pretty cool. So you got to introduce them, but we got the actual introduction.
And let me tell you something. It was a magical night at the Gathering of the Juggalos. For those of you who don't know about the Gathering of the Juggalos, once again, I urge you, go ahead, check them out. Check it out. It's a cool festival, and man, we did a lot of cool things.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Going back to Morris Day and The Time, we're walking around, me and Carlito. I guess we were going up on stage, and they thought I was Morris Day.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
I remember that. Also, that particular year, me, Carlito, and Big Hoodoo were sitting talking with Jelly Bean Johnson, who is uncle. He was Big Hoodoo's uncle.
Yeah, you told me that. That's right.
And that was really cool.
I
man.
remember that.
Was
With Morris Day,
memory.
he bounced.
Oh, he was
He
gone.
was gone. He was like, I'm doing my thing, and I'm out.
Hey, he got his 30 G's.
And, oh, my goodness.
He got his 30
He could have
G's.
said hi,
and
at
said
least for
bye-bye.
30 grand.
He did. He gave you an hour of his time.
He gave us the time.
Once again, man, we are Wrestling Real Talk right here, and we are just moments away, just merely moments away, and to having a real cool person that I know and someone that I most certainly adore, Big Mama, and we're going to be talking to her, A.T. Huck. And that's going to be exciting.
It will, because I have some things I want to present to her and talk to her about.
Okay, but before we get into that, so we talked about the threat. We talked about the den, man. Now,
we were about
people,
to.
well, no, we mentioned
We
it
did
on the
last week.
Yes.
That's right. We
But
did.
People are...
People are, what are you about to say? There's got to be something about the den.
Excuse me. People
I know those
are
are boys.
talking loud and clear about this match.
Yeah.
And people are saying there's going to be an upset with the Threat. And I'm like, how could there be an upset? Because these guys are legends.
Exactly.
So,
and I'm going to tell you, Rivera put on a clinic last time, him and Father Marquise.
Indeed.
I was sitting there like, wow, look at Rivera go.
Me too.
You know, to be, what, a 30-year vet?
30 plus
Both.
years, yes.
Briar Wellington as well. Both of them have been around at least 30 years now.
It's going to be a great...
grizzled veterans, they know every trick in the game. Nobody should underestimate the Threat.
It's going to be a great, awesome night of professional wrestling, and it's going to be topped off by a dynamite main event. And I got to tell you something, it gives me great pleasure to present this main event through the booking mind of the one and only A.T. Huck. Of course, I'm talking about AEW superstar Nyla Rose is coming in to challenge our guest right now on Wrestling Real Talk, someone who has threw down so many times in an international big-time wrestling ring, and we are so happy to have her back, the one and only Big Mama. Big Mama, how are you?
I'm doing great, baby. How are y'all doing?
Hey, what's happening?
We're doing great right here. You know, we're doing the damn thing, talking about the big main event between yourself and Nyla Rose. Now, before we get into that, though, Big Mama, I want to give a little brief history about you and our relationship with International Big Time Wrestling. It was because we went down to Chillicothe, Ohio, with our crew of Rocks Television, Rocks TV, and we came down there and we filmed for Bobby Fulton. And we did some cool stuff. It was awesome. But there was a particular superstar on the show that caught my eye that night. And I said, man, I told my crew, I said, she has to come to Detroit. She has to come to International Big Time Wrestling. She is something special. And of course, I was talking about you, Big Mama. And that's how far that we go back, you know, with our relationship. And I just want to tell you something that it gives me great happiness to have such a decorated indie wrestling star, not women's, just women's wrestling star, but indie wrestling star as our woman's champion. It really does. And I mean, the things that you've done in the NWA and that you continue to do on the indie circuit, once again, and I told you back then, and I hope that I've kept that promise. I told you back then, you were gonna be something special. And by the way, we are gonna make that match happen between you and Nyla Rose. Did I not tell you that?
You did. You 100% did.
So, okay, now that dream is coming true on January 17th. Tell us the importance about that. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us what was it like when you got the message that this is actually going to happen. Oh, and by the way, Nyla Rose knows exactly who you are and is excited, just as excited about this main event as yourself. Tell us about those feelings.
You know, it's no one would question that Nyla she is battle tested. She is a freaking beast. She is a warrior in the ring. And some people know, some people don't. This entire last 2 years has just felt kind of like a rocket ship strapped to me, to be completely honest. It's been just completely insane. But I have unfinished business. And Nyla has been on my list for many, many years. I just want to put that out there wherever it should go. And I know we had a lot of conversations about her and just people in general. And I want nothing more than every time I get into a ring to be pushed to my absolute limit. And I want nothing more than to prove to every single person I fight for every single inch and every single claw, everything that I get in that ring, I have earned. And when I found out about the 17th, first of all, just thank you. I have to 100% say that for the platform and the moment, because I'm telling you right now, people know who we are walking into that ring. They're not going to walk out of that building the same people after they see us go to war, because that is exactly what's going to happen.
Hey, Big Mama, this is Huck. I just got something to say to you. When I put this match down on paper, I looked at it and I compared it to other main events here in Michigan on the independent scene. A lot of great workers on those matches, on those main events. But this main event with you and Nyla Rose is on a national level in my eyes. And if you make it out of this match as champion, my goal is to make your matches just as important as the male's championship match on the show. So I'm eyeing other opponents for you or Nyla Rose, because I can't be biased as a booker. So I can't say you're going to come out of this show as champion. But if you do, guarantee you're going to be happy with every match I put you in.
I was going to say, you can't say it, but I certainly can. Big Mama, my pedal is to the freaking metal, and she can throw everything at the wall. I promise you, I'm going to get up. I can promise you that.
All right. Hey, I got a little bit for you. Roger Ruffin down there in Ohio, he used to come up here to Detroit and wrestle. And that's where I know him from, Midwest Territorial Wrestling. And sometimes he would come in. Well, all the time he came in with Psycho Sam Cody. And they were a tag team up here. And he would wear the mask, like the Lone Ranger. And he was pretty crazy.
I loved him.
I think,
he's insane, certifiably, I'm pretty sure.
Randy Rogers, Roughhouse Randy Rogers, and Psycho Sam Cody.
Yeah.
So, we go way back. Just want to let you know that. I think you already knew that.
I love that. I'm going to bring you a Kansas City Outlaws shirt next time.
There you go, the Kansas City Outlaws. That's what
I love it. I love it. Big Mama, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, so much. And we just want to, first off, I want to ask you, is there anything that you'd like to plug? Is there any upcoming shows? Here's your platform, champ.
Check out my schedule at Big Bad Mama 06 on Instagram, Twitter, all of the above, Facebook. I have all my entire schedule up there. But the most important one to me, I'm not going to lie, I'm locked and loaded right now. January 17th, International Big Time Wrestling. We're tearing it down. End of story.
Looking forward to you coming in. Can't wait.
Thank you so much. Once again, that was Big Mama. She, once again, A.T. Huck, is fired up, as you could hear.
Yes.
Very much.
Yes, she is. I like that.
And, and I love, most definitely, because she's not intimidated by this whatsoever.
Yeah, I hope not. I'm looking for a battle.
Indeed.
Hopefully they'll keep it clean, but we don't know. Tempers could flare up, and you never know what's going to happen. But I hope she appreciated what I said. I want to make the women's just as important.
Absolutely.
So every challenge that she gets is going to be a formidable opponent. If she makes it out of the 17th.
Right. You never know.
So that goes for Nyla Rose as well.
It's going to be an awesome night of big time wrestling on a Saturday night. One of them rare Saturday nights starting at 7 p.m. And that's bell time. Doors open at 6 p.m. However, you will get in a little more earlier with your VIP status. That will include some really cool prizes. We're going to tell you all about that a little bit later. But right now, A.T. Hook, I want to go right back into, the wrestling world and what's happening in the wrestling world. Now, just the other night, I sat with my sons and we watched the Survivor Series from San Diego, California, and in front of 44,000 plus. Triple H quoted saying this was the greatest Survivor Series of all time. I call bullshit all day, all day.
I wish I could talk on it because I've only seen clips.
Dude, there was one.
I feel horrible. I totally forgot about the Survivor Series.
There was one match that stood out like a sore thumb, and it was awesome because they told a great story, and the man passed the torch. Was John Cena against Dominic Mysterio.
Yes.
And John Cena looked at the lights that night.
And that was his last match?
No.
It still wasn't his last match.
His last match is still coming up in Washington, D.C. on Saturday night's main event in a couple weeks here because they're having this tournament. Mm-hmm. And it's been pretty interesting, this tournament. And
they're getting down to the final four.
Oh yeah. They're down to that, with Gunther and
Gunther's one of them. Okay.
Yes, and L.A. Knight is one of them. That's the only two so far.
They're the last two. Okay.
They're the last two?
I'm calling Gunther.
Oh, me too. All day.
Way.
I called him when this shit started.
When it first started,
I swear I did. Me and Carlito and Santana, we watched it together, and
when I watch him, I see Killer Kowalski. Even though he's a little more technical than Killer Kowalski, when Killer Kowalski was a lot younger, not the long, lanky.
You're talking about John Cena?
No, I'm talking about Gunther.
Oh, Gunther. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Gunther.
Yeah.
Gunther.
Oh, yeah.
Before the toupee. Killer Kowalski was pretty, put together.
Right.
And that's who he reminds me of.
And indeed he does. I agree with you. And he has he has a physique like a wrestler, bro.
Yeah. He's not all cut.
No.
But remember when he was big, when he was Walter.
Yes.
He dropped a lot of weight.
Exactly.
He's in a lot better condition now, but still just as lethal. Gunther's one of those guys. I'd like to see him and Claudio go at it. That would be a crazy
that'd
match.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Man. That really would, man. You never know. And hey, never say never.
I thought Claudio should have gotten a better push than he did. He was prominent in things, but, was he ever Intercontinental Champion?
No.
Yeah, he should have at least gotten IC Champion. But we're going back to the Survivor Series. You're talking about, the matches. I didn't get to see them.
But let me say this. We have been blessed in the last 5 years to watch this young man evolve. And I'm talking about Dominic Mysterio. I mean, what a great wrestler, man. He is, I mean, he gets it.
Very charismatic, too, in his own way. He's not going out there shouting and screaming.
No.
His character is a little different than anything we've seen before.
It's like his father, Eddie Guerrero's. Yeah. It's just like his dad's. Come on, man. You could look at his face and see
I ain't going there, man.
I
see Ray in him because I've seen Ray without his mask.
Yeah, and okay. Ray is like 5'2".
Here's how I can't co-sign on it, okay? Because if it was you, and somebody was saying Carlito was somebody else's son, you wouldn't take.
I mean,
kindly.
look at
you
me.
Wouldn't
but
take
look at me and Carlito.
But regardless, you wouldn't take kindly
Come
to
on,
it.
come
so
on.
You don't know this is fact.
That's
why I'm saying that. But go ahead. We're here to have a good time.
Look at that 5-star
We're having a
frog
good time.
splash like his father, man.
I'm not even going there, man.
I love you, brother. I swear I do. Anyways, what a great talent.
Yes,
Real
yes.
talk.
He is. He is.
Real
I
talk.
like him a lot. You know, and I said it a while back that, you know, he definitely has a world title in his future.
Absolutely. And I'll be glad to, I hope that I'm here to see it happen because he is most definitely.
No, I don't think it'll be that long.
And let me tell you this. Let me also tell you this, Huck. I told Carlito, I said, man, the day that kid turns babyface, it's over, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to pop hard, man.
Especially if it's with the right person.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't make it with just some, you know, what's his group's name?
The Bloodline.
The Judgment Day. Judgment Day.
Bloodline.
And that's too obvious for me.
Yeah.
You know, that they'll somehow turn him. Somebody else should make him turn.
Yes. You know? Yes, absolutely. Wrestling Real Talk right here has been on your ears through Spotify, through YouTube, through Facebook, through, Instagram. We are out there. We want you guys to know that we listen to you guys when you ask us those questions. And one of those questions came from a fella in Arkansas.
A fella.
Good sir. And his name is David, and he wants to know.
What's up, David?
The greatest 3 wrestling managers you've ever seen live with your own 2 eyes. They're asking us for our top 3. Go.
Live with my own 2 eyes.
Yes.
Of course, it would be Abdullah Farouk, the Grand Wizard.
Okay.
You know, I saw him actually accompany the Sheik.
Ernie Roth.
Ernie Roth.
Yes.
Mr. Clean before that.
Yes.
And also he was an announcer under his name, Ernie Roth. He was actually doing the TV for Big Time Wrestling.
Right here in Detroit.
And somehow he turned into what we used to call him in Detroit, the Weasel.
The Weasel. He
was the Weasel. And then he went to, I used to call it New York, the WWF.
Yes.
And he became the Grand Wizard.
He did, yes.
But I saw him as Abdullah Farouk.
And he was with the Sheik,
with
like
the
you
Sheik,
said. And he was with
fan,
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter, but back
New
to
York.
the Sheik, when I was a kid going to Cobo, we would stand down there and wait for the wrestlers to walk in.
Yes.
And here comes the Sheik with I believe it was a red velvet jacket, bow tie, sunglasses, sharp.
Always dressed.
Sharp.
Always dressed.
And
to the nine.
And a few feet behind him. And there was enough room to walk next to him.
Yes.
But he walked behind the Sheik. Was coming up Abdullah Farouk.
See that?
Had his fez on. And he was sharp.
Oh, I love it.
They came looking. I'll never forget that. Seeing the Sheik and Abdullah Farouk coming into Cobo.
Let me tell you, one of my favorite all-time managers that I've seen live out of my 2 eyes is the great Jim Cornette. I seen him many a times with the Midnight Express at Cobo when they come in through, the American
yes, I did too.
Bash and, Bunkhouse Stampede and all. It was great. I loved it. I loved it. And I always found him to be funny. He was the guy you always wanted to see get his ass kicked.
Yeah, he was a mama's boy.
Exactly.
Carrying around his tennis racket. Very annoying.
And when he took that bump off of that scaffold and shattered both his knees.
Yes.
Brother, right then and there. And then he came right back after that. Hey, man, kudos to that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Jim
one of the
Cornette.
best in history, Jim Cornette.
Absolutely.
When it comes to managers, one of the best in history. And I got to see him as well many times.
Check out Jim Cornette Experience on Spotify and all that cool stuff.
But one for me, and
this is your second now.
This is my second. I'm going to have to say, you know how I am about Detroit wrestling, big time wrestling. And he may not be as well known throughout the country, but for me, George Cannon.
Oh man, George Cannon is
Yeah,
internationally known,
George
brother.
Crybaby Cannon, but he's
Yes.
probably not as well known as Lou Albano,
Of course.
or something like that. But the manager of the Fabulous Kangaroos,
Yes, indeed.
and he had on the back of his golf jacket or whatever it was, "I am right," and he had the helmet.
The helmet.
He'd wear the little helmet, that had the kangaroos
and had the
on the
kangaroo
front.
on, yep.
Yeah, but he was one of those whining managers, and I remember it got to a point where the Kangaroos, they broke the Stomper's leg.
Okay.
It was the team of Ben Justice and the Stomper.
All right.
So the Stomper was on a quest. He had to go through he had to go through Don Kent and Al Costello, and then finally get a match with George Crybaby Cannon. And that was a pretty good feud between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but George Cannon would cry. You beat him up, he'd get in the corner and start crying.
Then all of a sudden he got tough.
And then he got tough. Like, I went to Georgia, and I was watching Georgia Championship Wrestling. When I came back, George Cannon was running the game, running the show. And he's out there and he's like trying to square off with one of the craziest MFers, Sailor Moondog White.
You're damn
I was
right.
like, wait a minute,
man.
George, why is he not crying anymore?
Exactly, man. Yes.
And Sailor White was one of those crazy dudes, one of the original Moondogs, King Moondog.
Yes.
Yep.
King Moondog.
So
yes.
George Cannon, there you go.
George Cannon, man, who, by the way, I also love, I respect very, very much. My second is also someone who you may not know very well, but those of you who know, they know. And here's a man with the gift of gab, one of the great talkers. And he's been around wrestling forever. He was also a WWF referee once upon a time, but later on in life, he became the great Dr. Jerry Graham Jr. out of Toledo, Ohio. And I got to give the man his props and his kudos, because here was a guy who, whether you like him or not, and whether you've heard of him or not, I urge you wrestling fans, look up Dr. Jerry Graham Jr., Graham's Gallery.
Graham's Gallery, that's right.
Graham's Gallery, and you will understand when I talk about a man who can cut a promo just as good as Ric Flair, and I will stand by that, is Mr. Dr. Jerry Graham Jr. He would be number 2 on my top 3.
And his show, that was during Bruiser Bedlam, the television show. Yes. I remember that. He'd have, Muhammad Jihad Saad would be a guest.
Yes.
A lot of the local wrestlers.
Chris
He'd
Carter.
get in. Denny Cass. would be on
absolutely,
there. Yeah,
yes.
but Dr. Jerry Graham Jr., yes. He used to referee here in Detroit, too.
Right, and you worked for
Jerry
him, didn't
Jaffe.
you?
Well, that's a little story, and I hate to ramble on, but
No, please.
I met Jerry Graham, years ago. He would come into Detroit for Sweet Daddy.
Right,
But we, never really clicked.
right.
But a few years ago at Cobo Arena, he was there for the convention that DBA put on, XICW.
Right.
And I was there with Rick Matrix, and
Okay.
Rick was jacked. That's when he was looking his best ever.
Right.
And we're sitting there, and Jerry Graham is there, and we're talking, being cordial. And he looked at Rick, and wanted to book Rick.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "Why don't you come down and be his manager?" And I was like, "What?" I'd never managed anybody.
Right.
And he told us to cut a promo right there, which I'm good at right on the spot.
Right.
like that.
No doubt. No doubt.
And I ended up being a manager down in Ohio due to Dr. Jerry Graham Jr. Most fun I've ever had, man.
Nice.
It was
man.
crazy. I ended
Nice.
up managing the Sons of Detroit.
Okay.
Nate Matson and Benjamin Boone.
Nice.
Not the Dingo Warrior. I'm sorry, I can't think of his name right now. But Papa Dingo. Yeah, Papa Dingo.
That was for Power Slam Wrestling right there in
Yes.
Toledo, Ohio. You can look them up on
Power
YouTube.
Bomb.
Power Bomb Wrestling. You can look them up on YouTube right now as well. I'm sure you will see A.T. Hook in that managerial. Well, maybe that's the guy who you were going to vote as your number 1 manager yourself.
Oh no, I can't say that because I enjoyed Dr. Jerry Graham.
Because I'm voting for Rick Hernandez. No, I'm not.
You know, I enjoyed Dr. Jerry Graham, but you know, I remember when I was in Atlanta.
Okay.
And one of the most prominent managers I got to see down there was Precious Paul Ellering.
So this is your third.
Yeah, I'll give it to Precious Paul,
Yes.
even though I have other ones I could list.
Of course.
You know,
we can go on for days.
Because he was instrumental in helping the Road Warriors get on the map. And I saw the Road Warriors and Paul Ellering in their early days.
Of course, yeah.
In Georgia
The
Championship.
original Legion of Doom.
Yes. Plus, you know, managing King Kong Bundy and Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake.
You know, he managed several guys there. But before that, I saw him as just Precious Paul Ellering, the wrestler.
Right.
You know, in Atlanta before the Road Warriors came in.
Right.
So it's cool to see him transition from this pretty good heel wrestler to me.
Absolutely.
You know, into this, you know, manager. You know, and that was cool with him and Buzz Sawyer.
Yes.
You know, and Paul Ellering. Here's another thing about Paul Ellering, and I missed it. It was Christmas 1983, I believe. And he brought the Sheik to Georgia.
Uh-huh.
And the Sheik was to wrestle with Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. And there are little clips of the Sheik not doing an interview, but Paul Ellering's doing that interview.
Uh-huh.
And Buzz Sawyer's in the ring. And the Sheik's trying to get to the ring.
Oh.
But they send out all these other wrestlers, and it's just chaos.
Oh.
And the
you
Sheik
gotta send me that.
I have to find it out. When I do, I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
Please do.
But
I
it was
haven't
the
seen
Sheik and
it.
Buzz Sawyer at the Omni.
Wow.
And it was during Christmas, and I was home for the holiday, so I missed it.
You missed it.
And the Sheik wasn't there anymore after that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
just that short time.
Wow, I bet that was a
But
wild
Paul
match
Ellering
too.
brought the Sheik in. I know it was.
All right, well, that brings me to my final and, dare I say, one of my all-time favorite managers and one of the all-time favorite people I've ever met in the wrestling game. I'm talking about a multi-talented man, by the way, not just in wrestling, but in music as well. Of course, I'm talking about the great Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South. And here's a guy who had a million-selling single with You Keep On Dancing with the Gentrys. And he toured with the Beatles. And he toured with... Yes, that's a jam. Toured with the Beatles, toured with Sonny and Cher and blah, blah, blah. But his heart was always in wrestling. And then, of course, he met up with the King. And the King knew money, and the King wanted to use him so that he could get people to come out to see wrestling with the Gentrys there. Long story short, you know, Jerry Lawler gave Jimmy Hart his career and a part of his dream.
And, you know, in Memphis, that's what I'll call it. That was the territory.
Yes, sir.
You know, but they ran all throughout Tennessee. As far as managers go, I would have to say Jimmy Hart is probably the top manager that came out of Memphis.
Oh, yes.
You know, they had others, Al Green.
Green.
Jerry Lawler's manager, I can't remember his name right off the top
There
of my
was Al Green. There was
even Tojo
Yamamoto.
Even though he was an exceptional wrestler in his time.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean,
very over too.
Yeah,
he was a baby
You
face.
had Downtown Bruno,
but Downtown Bruno was no Jimmy Mouth of the South.
No, absolutely not. No, and that's why they trusted him with the whole Andy Kaufman thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they knew he could get him over as a heel, even though I don't think Andy Kaufman really needed the help. However, it was a good pairing, a really good pairing.
Yeah.
And everyone knew how to, you know.
Well, every heel that they brought in was with Jimmy Hart.
It's true.
You know, every heel they brought in was with Jimmy Hart.
And Jimmy, you know, he finally got his chance to go to New York, as you said earlier, the WWF. And he said he had to go, but he told Vince McMahon, I can't come this week because Jerry Lawler is sick and I'm doing TV for him. I'm writing the TV for him. And Vince McMahon said, you are gonna be a big star with me. Any man who has integrity like that to say I can't do it this, especially after the money I
have
offered
some
you.
obligations that I have to take care of first.
Absolutely.
And Vince, respected him for that.
And then, when I used to be with in St. Clown Posse and we'd be at Nitro and everything, Jimmy Hart was the guy that we'd always have to deal with. And let me tell you something, Jimmy Hart was nothing but a sweetheart. He is a sweetheart. One of the coolest people I've known in this business. And just all around awesome guy, always positive. One of the great songwriters of all time. And let me say this, Hulk Hogan's Wrestling Boot Traveling Band CD, which is very rare and very hard to find. Let me tell you something. It was written all by Jimmy Hart. And there are some fucking gems on that album.
Oh, yeah.
And I urge you guys, if you get a chance, check it out. It's an awesome album. And Jimmy Hart
was behind a
did it
few
all.
of the theme songs in wrestling, too.
Oh, yes.
In the WWF.
Oh, yes, man. Him and I can't think of his name right now.
What was it? What was when they were all working on the construction site?
Oh, Pile Driver.
Pile Driver.
Sometimes
I think
love.
Jimmy Hart had a hand in that.
Oh, he did the whole album. He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield.
Right.
And what was Girls in Cars. Girls in Cars. Oh, man, what a great
Jimmy Hart.
What a great talent. And someone who's
I had the opportunity to work with him a few times too. So,
yeah,
a few times with Jimmy Hart. Birch Run.
Yes,
I did that Cole show with whatever, however you want to say it, and he managed the Warlord.
Yes,
and people were tripping because I put him against Zach Gowen, the Warlord and Zach Gowen. And Jimmy Hart, just couldn't take it. The Warlord was just pounding away on Zach, poor Zach Gowen. So Jimmy Hart hit the Warlord with his cane. And what did he have? With his megaphone.
Yeah.
And Zach was able to make it to the top, moonsault 1, 2, 3 on the Warlord.
Speaking of some son of a bitch at WrestleCade last week stole Jimmy Hart's megaphone.
I hope he gets it back. Don't be an asshole. Send Jimmy Hart's megaphone back.
Right.
Jeez.
Don't be a dick, man.
But nobody will have guts now. They'll have to leave it somewhere, or
even if they gotta leave it somewhere, just say, man, leave it at a fire station,
exactly,
man.
Right.
This is a part of history, and don't do that to the man who is, like I said. And by the way, I've been to the autograph signings that he's done. Me and Tanya, we took Santana and we went. And it was awesome, and he was just so nice
he
and
talks to
caring,
everybody,
exactly. And
that may have been the last time I saw him was at a convention. We talked a little bit.
Yeah, awesome guy. Now, A.T. Hook, of course.
Also, we can't leave out his big part. Dealing with Hulk Hogan. Usually wherever Hogan showed up, Jimmy Hart was there. WCW.
Let me tell you something. And here was, let me say this. From all of Jimmy Hart's former wrestlers, including Honky Tonk Man, Greg Valentine, the list just goes
Hart
on and
Foundation.
on. Right. The Hart Foundation. Jimmy Hart actually took care of their flights.
He was a real manager.
He was their real manager. He wanted to make sure his guys were at the building on time. He made sure of all of that stuff. And Jimmy Hart is one of those guys that really he did, especially during the racist shit that Hogan said. He tried his best to, try to make things right, and and he just couldn't do it. And he felt like, and I heard this on a podcast, he felt like he let Hogan down, and
because he didn't,
because he couldn't this
co-sign.
this time he couldn't
Right.
co-sign on it. so he had to back off. And I get it, you know. But man, Jimmy Hart,
Yes.
one of the greats.
Good choice, man. But I, saw a lot throughout history.
Of course.
I saw a gentleman, Sal Weingroff,
Dude.
who managed the Poffos, the Von Brauners.
Yes.
Big, in the Midwest. I got to see Eddie the Brain Creechman.
Dude, Freddie Creechman, man. Well, you weren't here.
Floyd Creechman.
I mean, Floyd.
Yeah.
You weren't here.
I saw Floyd wrestle.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, as a wrestler.
No shit.
He came in. I was like, what is this kid doing?
When they brought in guys like the Iron Sheik and stuff, they brought in, Floyd Creechman.
Floyd was good, man.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever look up International Championship Wrestling from Canada,
yes,
then you'll see Floyd Creechman.
Floyd Creechman. Man, great.
That deep French accent.
Great call. Because I'm going to tell you what, after I get off of this, I'm going to get to the crib and I'm going to look up Floyd Creechman. Because, man, what a great.
But going back to Ernie Creechman, his father. Did I say Ernie Creechman?
Yeah, you did. It's Eddie Creechman.
What am I saying? Ernie, it didn't sound right. Eddie Creechman, if you've ever seen I Like to Hurt People.
Oh, him and the Grand Wizard,
Abdullah Farouk, and our friend Terry Sullivan is the announcer. And Eddie Creechman and Abdullah Farouk have one of the best back and forth segments in the history of wrestling.
Of professional wrestling. Yes.
And what it was, Eddie Creechman was the manager of Ox Baker.
Yes.
And the Grand Wizard had come back from New York, from the WWF, to manage the Sheik because he was the original manager of the Sheik.
Yes.
And they were going at it.
Oh, my God.
I can watch that over and over.
One of the great segments ever in anything in wrestling is that. And like you
Bobby,
said.
have you watched it yet? No.
And shout out to our friend Terry Sullivan.
Terry Sullivan,
man. We love you, brother. We always thinking about you, man. Once again, A.T. Huck, that brings us to the end of one of our cool-ass, kick-ass shows.
Fun, man.
And by the way, David, thank you so much for that awesome question. And once again, it's so simple to do, you guys. Just leave it in the comments section, and we read those all the time, and we will most certainly answer your questions, comments, and or concerns. A.T. Huck, tell us, what would you like to say to your friends, fans, and all of that good stuff right now? Say your goodbyes, sir.
Really, for the listeners, man, thank you for all your support. Like Rudy said, send us some questions, about anything, because I, as you know, I will go on and on. I'm not going to ignore anything you say. If I know about it, I'm going to answer it and give you some history about it. You know that. Just keep us all in your prayer, in your prayers. Got a lot of traveling I have to do again. I'm going to be leaving town soon. Got to go back to Nashville to go look after my sister. But I will be in touch. I will be back in time for January 17th. And I'll be here for a few more shows, but soon I'll have to say goodbye for a little while. Just for a little while. And got a lot in store, like I told Big Mama. Going to spend a lot of attention on the Women's Championship, Big Mama. Hoping you're successful on January the 17th, because if you are, you're going to have to really step up your game. And I know you are, but I'm here to challenge you. I'm here to challenge you. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm the booker. I am the booker of International Big Time Wrestling. I have no friends in the locker room. I'm a matchmaker, and we got a lot of big things coming in 2026.
He's the matchmaker and the heartbreaker, the one and only A.T. Huck, someone who I love dearly. Speaking of love, man, I want to thank you guys for all the love that you've been showing us right here on Wrestling Real Talk. It means so much to us. It really does. Because we do this out of love. We really do. And again, today having someone that we think the world of, Big Mama, being a part of today's show was awesome. I'd like to thank Bobby Rocks and Carlito Hill because, man, they made that phone call flawless, and I appreciate them for their producing expertise, kicking ass, doing the damn thing. I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man, you guys. Got good family, got good friends. I'm going to the motherfucking Bahamas, y'all.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to the motherfucking Bahamas, y'all. That's right, I said it. And I can't wait. And it's going to be a magical time with 3 people that I love dearly. It's going to be beautiful. Thank you, God above. Man, just keep us in your prayers. And more than that, indeed, keep Brother Huck's sister in your prayers as well, please. Thank you so much again for being here. Thank you for the love. Once again, like we always say, and we live by it, we are not here for a long time, you guys. We are here for a good time. Let's have a good time, man. It's the holiday season, man. Rudy motherfucking Hill's in love, bro. That's right, I'm in love. I said it. Damn right I said it. Love you guys. Peace and love from the almighty God above. A.T. Huck, I love you, bro.
Peace.